Well, how are we all doing out there? I know there's a few of you watching already. It's good to see you. Put a comment on here someplace so I know you're there. I can see that you're watching, but I don't know who it is. So let me know that you're here. I'd love to chat with you. Again, we want to make this a little bit interactive, but how do you like that video? Just a different perspective in terms of how to look at your circumstances and put a different spin on it, and your world changes. And there's always things that we wish we had and maybe don't have, or experiences that we wish we didn't go through. But today we're really going to look at the question of gratitude, and how does that affect our day-to-day living, and how can we, even in the middle of COVID, live a life of gratitude. And again, we're not going to be too long. We've maybe 20 minutes or so. But again, love to see your comments and chat with you a little bit, and go back and forth. We've got a few little video clips I want to share with you. But really, I just wanted to take some time. This is our Giving Tuesday 2020 campaign. Giving Tuesday this year falls on December 1st, Tuesday. And it just happens after the Black Friday sales in the retail stores, and then also the Cyber Monday online sales. And Giving Tuesday is just that opportunity for you to just take your eyes maybe off yourself a little bit and say, what are the ministries, the agencies that we want to be a part of that are showing compassion, or helping with a cause or a ministry that you really believe in, and then give in support of that to meet year-end financial goals, donation goals for that agency. And so if you want to consider MBC as part of that, we encourage you to do that. But really, even as we talk about gratitude today, maybe your expression of gratitude back to God is giving to the things that are important to Him. And so again, I've just got a little bit of a lineup, nothing too formal or anything, but just wanted to focus tonight a little bit on the question of gratitude. And what is it that we really mean when we say the word gratitude? I looked up quite a few different definitions of gratitude, and one of the ones that was just a simple definition that I think is worded well. It says the quality of being thankful and a readiness to show appreciation And again, the quality of being thankful, it's a verb, and then the readiness to actually show appreciation for that thanksgiving. And again, we can give our gratitude back to God, being thankful for all the blessings He's given us. And we can also be thankful and show that appreciation to the people around us. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about when it comes to gratitude today. But I do want to start you off with a verse, and that verse is one of my favorites in Scripture. Colossians is my favorite book of the Bible, but Colossians 2, verse 7 from the New Living Translation really just, I think, hits the nail on the head. It talks about letting your roots grow down into Him, Jesus Christ, and letting your lives be built on Him and the truth and the gospel that He represents. Then your faith will grow strong in the truth you are taught, and you will overflow with thankfulness. And so it's what we're rooted in, and understanding the reality of that grace and that truth that we've been given through Jesus Christ will then give us a life overflowing with thankfulness. And that's pretty exciting for us. And so again, we want to basically root our thanksgiving and our gratitude attitude in the truth of God's word. And NBC is about building resilient, biblically rooted families. And so it's appropriate that we kind of turn our eyes just to what do the scriptures say about Thanksgiving. And I encourage you, Google this one, 21 verses on gratitude, and you'll get a great list of just scripture references that really call us back to give thanks back to God, but also to the people around us, and to live a life of thankfulness. Um, Gratitude is one of the themes that we had a few years ago to kind of really emphasize for our staff, our team members here at NBC, to kind of, out of gratitude, work and serve our guests and serve one another. And as a part of that, we actually put together a gratitude wall, and we have a chalkboard up in our staff lunchroom that just gives an opportunity for people to mark their things that they're grateful for, and really encourages them to just express that thankfulness. Not just hold it inside. We have to kind of express it to let it out, and out of that, we actually get some of the benefits of what gratitude brings to us. And so you can see on the picture here, this way, right there, right there, right there. You can see that was one of the summer pictures that we took, and we erase it once in a while, and then it fills up again. And even now, I could go upstairs and take a picture, and it's going to look different than that one. But it is encouraging to walk by and just see the expressions of thankfulness that our staff have for the various things that we have here at NBC, but also their family, the gift of God, and the gospel He's given us. So that's kind of what we do. The other thing that we've tried to really do and make a discipline, and we actually write it into all of our agendas now, is when we meet as a team, whether it's our leadership team or other members that meet as a team, we have at the very beginning of our meeting a gratitude check, where we just go around the table or the meeting space, and we just say, what are we thankful for today? And then the team members have the opportunity to express that thanksgiving to one another. And it actually releases our brains to be more creative. It relieves some of the tension that we might have come to that meeting with, and it actually releases us to actually be more creative and better problem solvers in that meeting. And I've actually seen that. I've witnessed that the impact of giving gratitude, giving thanks before our meetings changes the whole culture and the climate of that meeting and the tone of that meeting. And so that's what, those are some of the things that we're working at, how we practice gratitude here at NBC, and how you might be able to do too, whether it's gathering around the table as a family, or even in your workspace, just giving an offering of thanksgiving. And so what does gratitude actually do for you? That's a good question. And so, I did some research on this back when we were making this the theme of our kind of staff spiritual focus, and the question of gratitude. And we really dug into this. We did some other things around the theme of gratitude. But here's just a list that I'm going to read to you. It gets our eyes off of ourselves and help us focus back on God. So when we say thank you, the object of thanksgiving is something else. It could be God, it could be the person around us. And it's an expression of thanks to someone else. And for a moment, we actually just take our eyes off ourselves and we are thankful. It reminds us that we're not in control. When we say thanks and when we express gratitude, it's an act of humility, where we actually express that we had a need that was filled or met by God or by someone. And when we express gratitude, it's an act of humility and it's an act of letting go of control. And often you find that people who have to be in control all the time actually are very ungrateful to people usually, because they don't learn to let go of that need for control, and so they don't express thanks very often. And so when we express thanks, we give up control. It's an act of humility, and it actually releases us from having to be in control, and it's an expression of to God that He's bigger than we are and that we actually really need Him. So it's an expression of need. It helps us recognize we have so much to be thankful for, even in the little things. One of the things that we did a few weeks ago here, we had a pastor respite retreat, and a friend of mine, Ed Heinrichs, um, he facilitated a session with the pastors, but he shared that in his journal he writes down every day 5 things he's grateful for. The first 4 are things that he might obviously be grateful for, but the 5th one, he disciplines himself to look back on his life or on his day and basically find a thing that normally by nature he would not be thankful for. So it could be a hardship, it could be something different, but it may not be easy for him to be thankful for because at the time there was pain involved. So he disciplines himself to write down one of those incidents, and then he discovers why he should be grateful and thankful for that. And we had an example of that in one of our staff meetings this week. We've had a couple of weeks of meetings just getting our planning in place for next year, all the different COVID contingencies that we have to plan for, getting our budget ready for our board meeting in December and for approval, and just a lot of planning, a lot of meetings. So we're all kind of tired of meetings right now, but we did a gratitude check, and one of our team members actually said, "I am grateful for the speeding ticket I got this morning." And we're thinking, really? And this person just said, yeah, it gave me an opportunity now to realize that I just need to slow down, and by doing that, perhaps I'm saving my life or somebody else's life. And so that was a neat twist on gratitude, giving thanks for something that normally we might not be thankful for. There's a reminder when we give thanks to God that He is the giver of all good gifts. We were never intended to be fully self-sufficient in this life. A grateful heart reminds us that God gives us good gifts. A heart of gratitude leaves no room for complaining. It's very hard to complain and give gratitude at the same time. One example, years ago, when I was at Fair Havens, I pulled my leadership team and my department leaders together for our weekly meeting just to see how things are going, and we were hosting I think about 6 directors, camp directors from Mexico at the time. And if you know anything about camp ministry in Mexico, it's very different than the typical camp ministry here in Canada. We have facilities, we have buildings. Often in Mexico, they're working with a parking lot, an open field, very few amenities. And so we went around the table, and these camp directors from Mexico just gave an example, just kind of said how they did camp, and what they were thankful for in Mexico and what they were learning here and so forth. But they basically gave a description of what camp was like at their camp in Mexico. And then when it came to our leadership team members and asking them what are the needs right now, how are things going, pretty much everyone just said, you know what, things are really good here right now. And it just gave them an opportunity to realize we are really blessed, even though sometimes we feel, just like that video we showed at the beginning, we feel that we might not be blessed. It also opens the door for continued blessings. It invites His presence. When we give thanks to God, it invites His presence into our life, and continued blessings can flow out of that. And I'm going to show you just another little video now that just reminds us again that Thanksgiving is, there are many blessings associated with that when we really turn our hearts toward an attitude of being grateful and expressing that to God and also to one another. So just enjoy this. It's about a 1-minute video. Yeah, so that was just again, God is always there and He doesn't abandon us, even when times are hard. When we turn our heart toward a thankfulness, we can be rest assured that He will never leave us. So it just changes our perspective when we offer and give thanks. There's also a lot of studies that have been put together and research done on what does a grateful heart or grateful attitude actually do for us? What does it do to our brain, to our body? And we could get into a lot of that. We're not going to get into too much depth on that, but just suffice it to say, this chart that I've got here on the screen, 41 studies were compiled together and they came out with these ratified scientific studies that said there is a deep impact and correlation toward an attitude of gratitude to these 5 areas in our emotional state of being, our social state of being, our careers, our health, and our personality, which are all drivers toward happiness. And again, I do a lot of talking on happiness and joy, and everybody, most Christians, we say, well, we want joy because joy we can have in the midst of sorrow. That's a gift from God, and it's a beautiful gift. But really, what we really want is this sense of happiness where there is no more sorrow. And one day we're going to get that. Revelations 21:3 and 4 talks about that. And we're excited about that. But in the meantime, we have this gift of joy. But when we have an expression and an expressed life of gratitude, there are real scientific impacts on what it does for us. And it's no wonder. The Bible is replete with admonitions to give thanks. And God knew in the way He designed us that this is going to be good for us when we give thanks. And it affects our brain chemistry. It affects the people around us. We are much easier to be around when we have an attitude of gratitude. And so that leads to more happiness. And who doesn't want that? So what are some of the ways that you might do express gratitude and learn to discipline attitude or gratitude a little bit more? One of the studies that was done, I just picked this little chart up here. It talked about happiness increase, and there's measurements of happiness and a state of well-being that they can do scientifically. And one of the ways that some people actually have really taken up on expressing gratitude is a gratitude journal. It could be an app on your phone. There's a lot of apps that you could download that just help you discipline yourself to actually write and mark and express gratitude for specific things in your life. But the study that was done here showed that in the first immediate impact of doing a gratitude journal, your sense of well-being or happiness skyrocketed. And so here's an encouragement to you. That's one way that you could actually learn to express gratitude and get the benefits of expressing gratitude. Not only does it bring glory to God, it actually will make you a happier person. And so why not express gratitude and live a life of gratitude? Some other ways to practice gratitude: tell an employee or a friend everything or something you appreciate about them. Look yourself in the mirror and actually give God thanks for something that you like about yourself. Sit in a quiet place and think about when something went well. How did that feel? Practice that feeling every day for a week. We watched a Bob Goff video a little while ago. He wrote the book "Everybody Always Love Does" and Dream Big. And one of the things he said in this video was, if you're going through a rough time, think back in your past and just think back to a better time and just say, what were the circumstances there? Why did I feel good there? Why was there a sense of well-being there and I don't have that now? And maybe work your way back from there to figure out what is wrong right now, and that's making you more depressed or more anxious. And then really ask God to show you the truth in your life that might be hindering your relationship with Him or with other people, and then express gratitude to God for ministering to you in such a way. Write someone a thank you note. I just got a card in the mail today, and it was a card of Thanksgiving, and it just put a little skip in my step. It just made me feel better, and I'm sure the person who wrote it, it was also a blessing to them as well. So that's an important thing to do. One of the things that we did when we met as staff, we watched a couple of the kind of experiments people did with gratitude and the effect on us of gratitude, and this organization or website called Soul Pancake, they did a 4-part series on the study of happiness, and one of them was expressing gratitude. Does it really lead to happiness or a better sense of well-being? So there's a 5-minute video we're going to watch now. If you want to go back and watch the first one, you can do that, and that sets the stage of this. But after the experiment, they said in the video, now go and do likewise and tell us what happened and send us a video of that. So what they did in this experiment is they sat somebody down and they said, okay, we want you to think of somebody who influenced you greatly in life. Now we want you to write down a letter to them that just says what the influence was, why they appreciate them so much, and what they're thankful for having been in their life. And so it's basically a thank you letter to someone specific in their life, living or dead, that they can put down on paper in a specific manner. And then the shock came. Then they asked those who participated in this experiment to actually call the person and read the letter to them. And it was quite an emotional video to watch, and I encourage you to look it up sometime. Soul Pancake, Gratitude, Happiness. Look it up and you'll find the video. But we're going to watch the second part here. It's a bit of a shorter video. It's about 5 minutes, but it's just actually the experience of some other people who watched that initial experiment do the same thing. And I'm sure you're going to be encouraged, and maybe this is something that you can do together with your family. You can sit down and you can write down a letter of thanksgiving to somebody that's been influential in your life. But enjoy this video. It's pretty moving, and I think you'll be encouraged to do the same thing.
After our first experiment on gratitude, we asked you guys for video responses, and you guys delivered. So take a look at what we did with it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
I literally just watched the piece you did on happiness.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, Grandpa.
Hey, Caleb, how you doing, buddy?
I was crying while I was watching it.
So today in class, I had my students write a letter of the person that they were influenced by the most, and they were supposed to read it to that person. And I did the same thing, so I'm going to read you the letter, okay?
Okay.
Well, I wanted to read you something, okay?
Alright, appreciate it.
Are you ready?
Ready?
I'm not going to cry.
Mom, I would like you to know that out of almost everyone I know, you have and continue to be the person who has influenced me the most. One of my first memories is resting my head on your belly and wanting to know why it was so big and yet so hard. I remember you saying, your baby brother is in there. I also remember thinking, she must love us a lot to let us stretch out her belly like that.
My grandpa is one of the most influential people in my life.
Mom, your name is Evelyn Gillum, who is destined to be with me, Jasmine Gillum, 22 years and some months ago. You weren't expecting this message today, but I wanted you to know that I appreciate all you have done for me.
I was calling to let you know how influential you have been in my life and how grateful I am to be so lucky to call you my grandpa.
Had it not been for you reading to me every night, I doubt I would have loved to read so much.
I may be lost at this age, but I'm so glad I have you as my mother to be my guide here on earth.
He has always supported me in what I do, and he loves me unconditionally.
You have touched my soul in ways you couldn't imagine. I'm not crying. I am. Okay.
Had it not been for dancing around the living room to jock jams, I doubt I ever would have been able to have fun looking like an idiot.
I know how much you've been through the past couple of years with Susie Q and Grandma. But you have been the rock that held the family together and the ray of light through the clouds.
And is a father figure to me and my two brothers. I thank God that he has blessed me with such an amazing grandpa.
But most importantly, had it not been for your tearful plea a year and a half ago, I know I would have never seen the dire need for me to seek healing. Without you, I would have continued on, thinking I was perfectly healthy, while my disease continued to wrap its fingers around my life.
Who has inspired me to do what is right, and to never lose one's integrity.
You are a rock. You are a true picture of grace, mercy, and love.
You're such a stand-up pops and one of the most inspiring human beings I have ever met. I love you to the moon and back, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life.
I love you and I commend you for being the woman you are, the person you continue to grow into each day.
Oh, that's so beautiful, Andy.
over and out.
Oh my gosh, that is the best tribute that anyone can ever give anyone. And you just made my day, and you made my 91 years worth the living.
Hello?
I'm here.
Oh.
So thank you, Grandpa, for being my grandpa and loving me. I love you.
Oh my goodness. What a wonderful thing you said there.
Thank
Well,
you.
I get it. I got tears in my eyes, buddy.
I do too.
I love you.
Well, you too. Oh, that's great.
I gotta.
Buddy, thanks a lot. Thanks for calling, and I really love you. I love you, like you say, unconditionally, and I hope you love me the same way.
I do, Grandpa.
Where did that come from?
I was watching this video on Soul Pancake, and these people wrote a letter about who's influenced them the most. And I was like, my mom is that person. And they said, make a video and upload it. And so that's what I'm doing.
That's so sweet.
Well, thanks again, guys.
Interesting, right? Moving as well. But I love the one line where the one lady was calling, and the person she called said, "You've made my 91 years worth living by what you just told me." So that was pretty moving. So maybe it's your opportunity now to give thanks to somebody that has had an influence in your life. Write it down in a letter, and then call that person or connect with that person and read that letter to them. And you'll be amazed what that does for you, but also to the person that you're expressing thanks to. So we're going to wrap this up now. My encouragement to you is over the next couple of weeks, think about what are you grateful for. Here at NBC, we just have so much to be thankful for in a year that could have been very difficult, and there was definitely not a lot of easy times just figuring out navigating COVID and how do we stay open and safe with all the different COVID guidelines and the care that we want to give to our team members, but also to our guests. But we are so thankful that we're finishing off the year, having been able to be a part of a lot of ministry to a lot of families. We've had some great women's retreats, men's retreats, pastor retreats, and then a couple of weekends ago we had a great marriage getaway retreat here in partnership with Family Life from Power to Change. And we just have testimonies of families, of couples being impacted by God's truth and by just their experience of being intentional, getting away and working on their marriage relationship. And that brings glory to God. And so we give thanks for these opportunities. And then as we just consider Giving Tuesday, we also have a lot to be thankful for there too. Our target for Giving Tuesday is $50,000 for December 1st. By the end of that, for these 2 weeks, we will want to raise $50,000. And we are just thankful that several donors stepped up and committed to a total package of $25,000 in matching funds that if we get to the other 25, to the 50, they will give the first 25. And so we're thankful for those that God has laid on their hearts to be a part of this ministry as we fulfill the mission of growing resilient, biblically rooted families. And so thank you to those of you who participate with us in that. And again, may God bless you for it. But we trust that as you go into the Christmas season, regardless of what COVID throws at us, that we can be thankful and that God will provide for us. He will protect us. He will be there for us. And so that's my encouragement to you. So God bless. I'm going to say goodbye now, and we trust that this will be a great opportunity. And if you do want to give for Giving Tuesday, make sure you just go on to our website, muskokaBibleFoundation.com, or call the office 705-789-0123. Or you can actually wait till Giving Tuesday. We're going to have a fun. There's going to be a whole call-in radio talk show kind of thing going on December 1st from 12 to 1. And so you can, it'll be broadcast live on Facebook as well, and you can join us. It's going to be a day of celebration because we're confident that God's going to provide this for us. And so we invite you to celebrate with us. But stay tuned on this Facebook Live page. There's going to be a lot of different activities for your family, some fun things, some more serious things that just are a reflection of what we believe God has put on our hearts to communicate with you during this Giving Tuesday campaign. So thanks again. God bless, and may you have a great evening and a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.